Well, hello Riven mains and Yasuo mains alike. I am the Nightwing, Way of Life Esports, coming at you guys with another League of Legends video. So there has been some interesting news actually going around the League of Legends community, and today we have a few confirmations of what this news actually meant. Former Team Vitality coach YamatoCannon reveals he's teamless for 2020. The talented head coach will focus on other aspects of his career while searching for a new team. After spending 4 years coaching in the LEC, YamatoCannon has confirmed that he won't be coaching a League of Legends team for the 2020 spring split. The 24-year-old head coach spent his last 2 years with Team Vitality. He found some significant success with the organization, but he and the rest of the team couldn't make any improvements this past year. And then obviously he talks about it on his YouTube page. The LEC team failed to get past the first round of playoffs each split, and the roster couldn't find the same consistency and explosive power that it had the year before. As a result, YamatoCannon said that Vitality decided to part ways with him late in November. This also meant that many teams had already locked down their 2020 coaching staff, so Yamato couldn't find a spot he thought was worth his time. Things are still looking up for YamatoCannon, though the talented coach said that this coming season he'll be focusing on dominating the league content game, while also looking to consult for teams on a short-term basis in either North America or Europe. He still wants to be a head coach for a team, whether that will be this year or the year after. YamatoCannon is a great coach who should find a place to call home in the coming year. Many people are even calling for him to join the LEC analyst decks, since he became known as one of the most well-spoken league personalities in Europe. I would personally think that he should go to the analyst desk as well. I mean, now with the LEC as big as it is, and it's actually getting bigger, I think that his personality would rather fit the analyst decks, and I think that a person like him would be a super huge benefit to their already star-studded lineup for their analyst desk as it is. But yes, YamatoCannon is teamless for 2020. Well, at least for the spring split. That could easily change when teams start to do bad, and they obviously need a coach to jump in and save their season. Now, let's look at more news. Alright, so Doinby actually is not quitting. So, Doinby revealed a while ago that his wife basically kept him to play League of Legends. He was going to quit after Rogue Warriors, the team that he was previously on that year in 2018, didn't make Worlds. She said, give it one more try. He ends up winning Worlds. What kind of weird anime storyline is that? Then, he says, today, Doinby says he won't stop playing League because it's simply too fun. And the 2019 world champion will play as long as he's able to do so. He's also said he's had some physical injuries. He doesn't hate the game. He has physical injuries. I think he said that his back and wrists hurt a lot, and he actually talked about it earlier today. I don't know how much longer I'll be playing this game, but for as long as I physically and mentally have the ability to compete at this level, I cannot stop, Doinby said. I won't stop training. I won't stop dreaming of LOL. It's simply too fun. So yeah, Doinby was not going to retire last year because they had built a team around him, which was Fun Plus Phoenix, and they ended up winning Worlds anyway. And next year, Worlds is going to be held in China, so it would actually feel pretty bad for him not to compete next year. So you know he's going to put his best foot forward to have Fun Plus Phoenix compete in China, obviously since Worlds is going to be held in China in 2020, which is this year actually. So Doinby is going to want his wife watching him this year, obviously when Worlds is on our horizon, much so later on in the year. So Doinby is not going to retire just yet. He says it's simply too fun. Alright, so let's go. That will be its own separate video right there. Winners and losers of the 2019 LEC offseason. That'll be its own separate video. But let's go over some other news. The 10 best League of Legends players in 2019. Actually, Faker was named the best League of Legends player of the decade, actually. Yes, for the past 10 years of League of Legends, Faker was named the best League of Legends player, and I would rightfully so give it to him. I mean, he's been really good for a very long time. He's had actually very few slumps. I know a lot of players go through periods where they're just not really that good, but Faker's only really ever had a few, and even when he doesn't look that good, he actually still looks pretty good. So there's a lot of players that obviously can look that way and still have very high highs like he does. And let's see who were named the top 10 players of at least 2019. But yeah, that was in another website. Faker was named the best League of Legends player of the decade. League of Legends fans were treated to several intense matches in 2019, whether it was thanks to full team efforts or individual players. Several stars shined over the last 12 months. We decided to rank the best League of Legends players of the year based on a number of different factors: mechanical skill, champion pool, including how it impacted the drafting phase, consistency throughout the year, the ability to adapt in an individual game or series, and the player's role in facilitating their team's success will all be taken into consideration. The best players on this list should have healthy combination of the previously mentioned criteria. Attributes like mechanical skill may take the upper hand in some situations, but how a player impacts his team's success is also important. Here are the top 10 League of Legends players of 2019, their accomplishments, their skill set, and what drove them to succeed this year. Crisp at number 10, H21, Fun Plus Phoenix, position, support. Crisp, formerly Pinus, was one of the biggest surprises of 2019. He transformed from an above average player into becoming one of the best supports in the world. His dynamic with bot lane partner LWX and mid laner Doinby was crucial to his team's success in the LPL, helping the 5-man lineup excel in both the spring and summer seasons. Doinby may have been the man of the hour at Worlds, but Crisp's flexible champion pool, roaming pressure, and tip-top team fighting were essential to FPX's run in 2019. Coming in at number 9 is our boy Faker, our 3-time world champion. H23, Team SK Telecom T1, position mid. T1 had a resurgence this year after failing miserably in 2018 and missing Worlds to a 7th place finish in the LCK. The team built itself around legendary mid laner Faker, the greatest League of Legends player of all time, and for the most part it was a success. Faker's stability, flexibility on the team, and clutch playmaking ability thrived. He wasn't his old 1v5 self, but he didn't need to be. He had a strong and capable team on all sides of the map. Top laner Khan, Clid, and bot lane Teddy and Effort, and also Mata were reliable players, each on their own individual skill sets. Coming in at number 8 is going to be after I read this. Ha ha ha, got you guys. At MSI and Worlds, Faker looked uncharacteristically out of his depth, though. He slipped up, overextending and missing the mark far too many times. But while Faker may have not been the best player in 2019, he still was an integral part to his team's domestic success, coming in first place in both LCK spring and summer splits and earning a top 4 finish at Worlds should never be taken with a grain of salt. Coming in at number 8 is JackieLove, H20, Team Invictus Gaming, position AD carry. Invictus Gaming were the song... Oh, what the fuck did I just write? Rookie and the Shy show... Oh my goodness, I cannot read. I'm sorry, guys. Invictus Gaming were the Rookie and the Shy show last year, but in 2019, JackieLove stepped up, honed his skills, and proved his value to the team. If not for a keen and mechanically confident JackieLove, Invictus would have lost to Top Esports in the summer playoffs and failed to advance to Worlds. This might not have been the team's best year, though, after failing to beat rivals FPX, but despite the results, JackieLove was one of the best AD carries in the world. Coming in at number 7 is Tarzan, H20, Team Griffin, position jungle. Tarzan was one of the best junglers in the world throughout the regular seasons in the LCK. Griffin were a dominant force, barely losing a series, and Tarzan was unstoppable, especially in spring. In the playoffs, though, T1 came out on top, pushing Griffin to the wayside with absolute ease. It looked like an element of performance anxiety came into play when the team fell in at the final hurdle. But despite failing to come in first place in Korea, Tarzan looked exceptional. An impressive combination of wide champion pool, mechanical prowess, and an aggressive jungle presence allowed him to succeed. At Worlds, Griffin had a promising group stage, beating G2 in back-to-back games, but in the quarterfinals they were thwarted by Invictus. If it wasn't for ongoing controversy within the Griffin camp, however, Worlds may have been an entirely different story. Coming in at number 6, my boy, the faker of top lane, the Shy. Man, this guy is so good. Age 20, Team Invictus Gaming, position top lane. Invictus may not have lived up to the expectations at MSI, but the Shy was a shining light for the team. Pun intended. He was consistently the best top laner in China in 2019, and his carry potential, even despite the unfavorable metagame, was undeniable. Instead of sitting back and giving in to the pressure, the Shy played with vigor and determination. His team and moments of weakness, especially in the summer split. But when it came down to the end, the Shy was in full force. All eyes were on rival Damwon Gaming top laner Naguri and his pocket pick Vladimir at Worlds, but the Shy was the true star of the show. His unapologetic aggression and his clutch team fighting earned him a spot on the list. Number 5, my boy from G2 Caps. Our H20 team G2 Esports position mid. For the second year in a row, Caps made it to the finals of Worlds. He inevitably failed to complete the League of Legends Grand Slam, but he was close. In doing so, he proved last year wasn't just a blip in the timeline, and that he rightfully deserves to be considered one of the best in the game. His unpredictability, cocksure confidence, mechanical skill, and champion pool all contributed to his success in 2019. He was by far the best mid laner in Europe and was almost unstoppable on the international stage. This year, Caps pushed aside Craft's persona and finally embraced Claps. Number 4, Tien. Age 19, Team Flumpus Phoenix, position jungle. Both Tien, the MVP of World's Finals, and Chris were instrumental in FPX's success in 2019. Doinby may have been the puppet master of the show, but Tien was an essential cog in the FPX machine. The World's meta proved to be centered around the jungle, and Tien's confidence within his role, his dynamic champion pool, and his mechanical skill were accented by his team. He had the means to invade without hesitation, tower dive, and skirmish, and that's exactly what he did. Most junglers, especially without international experience, would take the low risk, low reward option in his scenario, but instead of holding back and drawing out the game unnecessarily, Tien took the initiative and snowballed his teammates. The same could be said for his spring and summer split performances. Tien was the king of the jungle in China, and he was the king at Worlds. Number 5, Clid. SKT's jungler. T1, age 20, team T1, position jungle. Last year, Clid showed his world's class potential on LPL's JD Gaming, but he didn't hit his stride until 2019. One of the most stacked rosters in Korea alongside big names like Khan, Faker, and Mata, Clid looked like an afterthought. He quickly became one of the star carries of the team, though his dominance in the jungle, champion pool, and ganking pressure were only matched by that of Griffin's Tarzan. The team may have fallen short in both the spring and summer regular seasons, but in playoffs, Clid's wrath came into full effect. He was unstoppable. Combined with the stable hand of Faker, he took out the top dogs, Griffin, with ease. At Worlds, Clid was one of the redeeming factors of the roster. Faker wasn't quite his old self, and the team's slow and methodical playstyle looked outdated against the aggression of Europe and China. But while T1 may have lost to G2, Clid looked like the best jungler in that matchup, and if it wasn't for an unprecedented late game blunders from that team, that his carry potential could have been enough to tip the scales in T1's favor. Number 2 is Perks. Alright, age 21, Team G2 Esports, position AD carry. Perks' transition from mid laner to AD carry was seamless in 2019. His initial role swap looked like a sick joke, but it wasn't. The face of G2 graciously stepped aside and handed over the reins to none other than the rival Caps. The cynics predicted it would take a year or two for Perks to be comfortable with his new role, but instead of rolling over and accepting defeat, he embraced the bot lane and quickly found himself at the top of the LEC. His almost infinite champion pool and mechanical prowess easily translated to the role of AD carry, and he dominated. The team had moments of weakness in the spring split, but when it came down to MSI, Perkz looked better than ever. After winning both EU domestic splits and MSI, the team hoped to win Worlds and complete the Grand Slam for the first time in league history, but it wasn't meant to be. But Perkz was one of the best in the world on the international stage. Now, number 1, Doinby. Age 22, Team Flum plus Phoenix, position mid. FPX's 2019 LPL run looked too good to be true. The team was almost expected to crash and burn on the world stage, but the end results were far from that. They blitzed through the tournament in dominant fashion, humiliating the European representatives and taking out G2 Esports in a clean sweep. While Tien may have earned the title of MVP and Chris was the best support player in the competition, the victory was thanks to Doinby. He wasn't the most mechanically intensive of the player, but his role on the team was paramount to their success. He was the architect of FPX, the leader, and the eager, and the engager. Good lord, I can't read. He facilitated his teammates and consistently pressured his enemies with roams and tower dives. His champion pool, too, was extraordinary, reshaping the role of mid laner and influencing the pick and ban phase in his team's favor. Instead of being an all-out carry and playmaking left, right, and center like Faker of 2013, he took the calculated approach and systematically shut down the map. His fast, furious, and unpredictable playstyle proved to be the best in 2019. While it wasn't always pretty, at times it got the job done. If anyone deserves a top spot, it's Doinby. He's the trendsetter of a truly he's sorry, I can't read to save my life. He's the trendsetter and truly a pioneer of modern League. Holy crap. Sorry if I messed up a lot of the words there. Sometimes it can be pretty confusing going from both monitors, because sometimes I look at the one monitor for top 10 lists, so I don't actually spoil that for myself. But yeah, it's actually pretty crazy. Doinby at number 1, I agree with that. He was really good all year. People really did sleep on him for a bit there. He was considered, basically, Doinby is just considered the high of the LPL. You know, not really mechanically strong, but is a really good shot caller. Basically, having a coach in your game, I hear, is actually pretty good. Alright, visa issues might delay YamatoCannon and Schernfire's debuts for Team Liquid. 3 important parts of Team Liquid's League of Legends teams may be unplayable to play. What the hell? Oh, sorry about that. I was like, I'm smoking crack today, guys. 3 important parts of Team Liquid's League of Legends teams may be unable to play at the start of the 2020 LCS Spring Split. Liquid owners Steve said on Twitter that delays for visas for junglers YamatoCannon and jungler Schernfire are currently ongoing with no resolution currently in sight. And then Steve tweeted, this is what he says. So this sucks. There are delays processing visas for Kayn, YamatoCannon, and Schernfire. We hope they all may be able to compete at the start of the season, but that may not happen. This also has affected our January team practice. We are evaluating backup options should they be required. The delays have already thrown a spanner in the works for the team's preseason preparations. Architects said that the visa issues have already affected their January performance. Visa issues aren't uncommon in esports, but the scope of the delay could lead to a rocky start of the year for the new look Liquid. The team is already looking to evaluate backup options to fill gaps in for both squads should it come to that. The LCS Spring Split begins January 25th, so Liquid still has a bit of time to see the visas could go through, but at the slim chance they do not, we could see a complete we could see a couple of temporary players on the stage for the first few weeks of the season. Pretty interesting. Alright. And that's pretty much it. There's nothing really much else. Attila gets to go back to Giants. Like, he's not really that good, so it doesn't really matter. IG and Flum plus Phoenix will be the first match of the LPL. I want to see which day the LPL starts, because I'm really craving some league action right now. When does the LPL start? Alright, the LPL starts in about January 13th? Oh, that's my brother's birthday. I gotta get him something too. So it's, league action's gonna start kicking off, guys. I'm really happy with that. So I'll see you guys later. Like, comment, subscribe. Most of all, enjoy. I'm the Nightwing, and Way of Life Esports is signing out. See you guys later. Goodbye.
Hey guys, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel for more stuff.
Yeah, thank you.